Hi guys, I'm Shmi, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me here in Dubai to go hypercar shopping. Now up in the distance we have the Burj Khalifa. I'm beside Sheikh Zayed Road, and either side of this road you will find some of the greatest supercar showrooms in the entire world, including Al Ain Class, where we are right now. It's always been a tradition to go supercar shopping, or maybe I should say supercar window shopping, when I'm out here in the UAE. But having recently seen some exceptional cars around in the showrooms, this has been elevated to hypercar shopping. We're expecting to find today probably in excess of 10 Bugattis. Here at Al Ain Class they have the full 5 Ferrari hypercars. A Lamborghini Urus has just cruised on by up there as well. There's a 911 GT1 we can find at First Motors. There are 3 Venenos, including the 2 at VIP Motors and 1 at First Motors. This is not going to disappoint. When it comes to effectively a motor show inside the dealerships of Dubai, we're going to find the best today. So let's get started right here at Al Ain Class and go hypercar shopping here in Dubai. We are of course taking the GT Black Series to go from stop to stop today, but I wanted to start here at Al Ain Class Motors, where I first visited their previous location almost a decade ago, and it never disappoints. Come on inside and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. From the Celine S7 and the P1 through to the Speedtail at the far end. Then we have a couple of Bugattis around and the full Ferrari hypercar lineup, including the 288 just there. So where do we really begin? This is already paradise. The Celine S7, you don't see very many of those. A spectacularly unusual car. This McLaren P1 I've actually seen in the past in the bright orange, with the unusual option to have the exposed carbon sections here and on the doors painted in the body colour. We've then got a McLaren SLR. We've got the Ferrari 599 GTO just here alongside it, the SA Aperta. One of only, well, it's about 133 of them in total, but originally it was supposed to be 80 cars. The SA Aperta effectively having the engine from this, the 660 horsepower naturally aspirated V12, with the body of the 599 GTB, but with a convertible roof. This actually has the optional roof rails. There's a Targa piece that goes in the centre. That's sitting there proud just as you walk in. We've got a lovely blue carbon Bugatti Chiron. The red interior on this. We'll come back to the Koenigsegg and Mansouri Veyron and all of the Ferraris over that side. For now, let's come through here. SF90 Stradale in the grey. Behind that, lovely white and light blue Chiron. I really quite like that, more than I would instinctively thought I would. We've got a 675 LT Spider, one of 500. Come through, we've got the one-off Rolls-Royce Hyperion. Always fun to see that. Another SF90 there. Murcielago SV. Now, interesting thing about this, the numbers of them. Originally it was supposed to be 350. All of the rumours are that it's 186, but in fact there's a registry of 254 of them already. So it might be nearer the 350 than people actually think. And alongside the Mercy SV is one of the 600 Aventador SVs. We've got one of the 500 Sennas, one of the 106 Speedtails, and this actually looks lovely. You can see it's got the wireless charging pad underneath it. But the purple with the silver pinstripe details, the purple and silver interior as well, the silver for the flanking seats of the purple in the centre, that 3-seat configuration, that looks lovely. We've also got a new 992 GT3, Turbo S Cabrio, G63. Let's come back through this away to go and explore the Ferrari Hypers just down towards that end. This is effectively a completely coach-built one-off car. It's just something to behold, really special. We've got the Brabus G-Wagon, we've got the Maybach Mercedes van, we've got the Cullinans, and then we've got the Ferrari display here. The 288 GTO, the first of Ferrari's hypercars, the F40, the F50, my favourite car without dispute, the Enzo, and the LaFerrari. You don't often see all of them together. Even rarer actually out here, the F50. That winning combo for me, as I so often talk about, naturally aspirated V12 engine, gated manual gearbox, removable Targa roof panel, the perfect driving experience. And the Enzo, they're increasing in popularity every single day it seems. I think we might even spot another one later. And then the LaFerrari All-in Rosso Corsa. Now, fun story about this Koenigsegg Agera and this Mansouri Bugatti Linea Vivere. I have actually seen them both before. In fact, both back in 2014. This is one of 2 that Mansouri made. I've driven one in black. This particular car is spotted in London. It was wearing a German plate at the time, and this car also filmed in London wearing a Saudi Arabian plate. This is a car I actually know fairly well and have seen a few times over the years, the full carbon Agera R. So pretty cool to be reunited with those amongst the hypercars here. And in fact, if we're trying to count hypercars today, it might get quite difficult. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think I might put the Hyperion in that. 13, 14, I need to recount, but we'll make some progress because this is going to be a spectacular day of amazing cars. The next stop is a fairly spontaneous one here at Car Vault, where something has just happened. Now we're listening in the background to that manual 991.2 GT3. There is also a Trophy R version of the Megane RS. Those are very rare. Plus, that is Carl's Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport that we went out with the other day because he is here and has just bought another car. So let's head on in. We'll go take a quick look at some of the cars here. Performante, GT3 RS, GT2 RS, a rather lovely Verde Hermes Lamborghini Aventador S. That's a very, very nice paint colour. But come on through, because I want to show you a couple of things. In fact, going past the 992 GT3, we've got the Ferraris, Romas, Portofinos, Lussos, we've got plenty of Rolls-Royce, including a few drop-head coupes. Tucked in here is a McLaren Elva, with the dual tone paint scheme, as you can see, from the McLaren orange through to the black at the front, the open top version, one of 149. Then we have a 722S of the Mercedes McLaren SLR, only 150 of those in total. We then have a 620R, which is effectively the 570S GT4 road version, only 250 of those. Two 765 LTs, the STO, a couple more Ferraris, and plenty more around. But let me come through towards the other side, if I can carefully navigate my way through between that 812 Superfast and the F8 Tributo here. 600 LT Spider in cerulean blue, Taycan, GT2 RS, GT4. We've got a Porsche 918 Spider, Porsche's hybrid hypercar. So what is that? Another 3 hypercars. I concluded at 14 at Alain Classe before. But over here, if we come on through, is a 991.2 GT3 RS that Carl has just bought. Literally with him, it will be over on his channel. He's just bought this car from Car Vault, which is really pretty cool to have seen and to have been a little bit part of, advising him to go for that, for some driving on track. He wants to do a bit more track time, and I think that's going to be the perfect car for the purpose. So big congrats. Well, this is cool. Congratulations, Carl.
Thank you so much.
Nice choice.
Thank you, because it was actually your decision, kind of.
I feel partly responsible. Let's have a little listen to this. That sounds mega. A completely different car to your Bugatti, but
yes, this is track focused, and that's exactly the purpose of this car.
You're gonna have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna race also, right?
Maybe. Enjoy. At the next stop, First Motors, where I came to visit on my previous trip. Outside we have a Maybach and an 812 GTS, but wait until you see the caliber of cars inside. Obviously F40 right in front of us, lines of cars to both sides. Thank you very much. And look at this. There's a 911 GT1 flanked by the McLaren P1 GTR and the Senna and the Speedtail over to the other side. This is absolute heaven in terms of these cars. And by the way, Bugatti Divo and Lamborghini Sian, plus wait until you see the car that resides here, which is currently in the photo studio. I don't really know where to begin. I mean, maybe we should start right here with the 911 GT1. The GT1 race car, only 25 of them were made. We're talking, well, $10 million, that kind of region for one of these. That is truly special. It was the homologation car for the FIA GT1 Championship up against the CLK GTR, McLaren F1 GTR. That was a true era of epic motorsport, which will be coming back again in future years with the new Hypercars series. But you don't see one of those around very often. 1990s road-going homologation specials at their finest. Of course, the F40 from the late 80s, again very rare, just over 1,000 in total, sitting center stage at the moment, and then flanked by just amazing cars everywhere you look. In fact, we'll come back to the Sian and the Divo. Let's head around in this direction. The Speedtail in the white with the orange or bronzed volcano orange, I think it is, pinstripes around in the orange central seating position. Over this way, we've got the lovely blue SF90, pair or trio of 812 GTSs, McLaren P1, Ford GT, LaFerrari, we've got a Challenge Stradale and two 16Ms. Limited number of those, only 499 of the 430 Scuderia Spiders tucked in over there. If you come this way, this is SF90 Alley, we could say. I think they have about 10 in total in the showroom with different specifications. Obviously, looking forward to mine arriving, but very much car of the moment right now. Different specifications available here at this time. We've got the 911 GT2 RS Club Sport, one of 200. Plenty of other awesome cars just lined up here. 765 LTs. We've got two MC20s, the Brabus Stealth, Mansory Carbon SLR, that's the Renovatio. Yeah, always very, very nice cars. But if I swing to the left, boom, Lamborghini Veneno Roadster in full exposed carbon fiber. Now, I did actually see this car myself a couple of years ago, so it's fantastic to see it again. One of three that I think we might be able to see today, which is absurd to say. Obviously crazy, crazy rare. One of the 9 Roadsters, and the only one of them with the full exposed carbon body. The only one of the 9 with that carbon body to complete the dramatic looks surrounding ultimately everything that Lamborghini represents and the Few Off series represent in one car. That is awesome to see, but that's obviously not it. Let's come for a little wander through towards the other side. We've got some 911 GT3s. In fact, we've got 4 new 911 GT3s. We also have 4 765 LTs, including probably the first Spider that I've actually seen for sale. That's cool to see here. If we come through this way though, we've got the Bentegas, the heavily modified Brabus G-Wagons, Cullinans, all of the SUVs, you name it. We have a few more Lamborghinis tucked up this way, including the Aventador Roadster there. It's wearing a kit on it, I believe. Then we've got the 2 STOs, the Hurricane Evo Anniversary. We've got an SV, Murcielago SV, with the high speed setup as opposed to the high downforce setup without the big wing on the back. If we come this way though, that's actually a very, very lovely new Phantom. I want to come and show you some of the other hypers down in this direction. Because if we're talking hypers, Veneno 1, LaFerrari P1, 3, Speedtail 4, GT1 5, F46, P1 GTR 7, Senna 8, and the Devo and the Sian. The Devo being one of 40 in the satin blue paintwork. That's incredible to see. Sold. And then the Sian alongside it, one of 63 in the bright yellow, also sold. So 10 hypercars at First Motors, including some of the very best. I mean, this is mind-blowing. The Devo, the Veneno, and the GT1 are 3 $10 million each cars. This is really hypercar shopping at its finest today. Dark has now fallen here in Dubai, but we're at Q Motors, and you can see the hypercar side of the showroom over that away. But let's come inside, because the specs of some of the cars they have here are extraordinary. And yes, we do have a Pagani Huayra right in front of us, one of the 100 coupes sandwiched between 2 Aventador SVJ Roadsters, and this one I'm going to draw attention to. But first, there is a trio of 918 Spiders, the Weissach package car sandwiched by 2 others. But this stands out to me because look at the specification. You've got the lime green paint, you've got all of the bronze accents around it, and then you've got this design separating the rear into the dark green. That is very, very cool. And they always have interesting spec cars. I'm going to take a look at that 812 GTS in just a second, and in particular at an AMG back that away. But like I said, 3 918s, sapphire blue, really like that colour. The colour, in fact, of my first 981 GT4, my first Porsche, in fact. The Weissach package car here with the lighter weight wheels and more of the carbon, the black 918 as well. If we come through, let me show you some of the cars that I'm talking about here. F8 Spider in a highly custom spec with the painted stripes. Over this way, 488 Spider. Look at that, very Lamborghini-esque colour scheme with the yellow leather interior against the black paint. Talking Lamborghinis, we've got the light blue Murcielago LP640. We've got the Hurricane STO in the yellow with the red design and livery. We've got that satin orange SVJ Roadster. And look at this AMG GTC Roadster. This is China blue with the orange accents. And look at the interior, navy blue leather with the orange stitching. I really, really quite like that. Now I want to come on through past many different models. Superleggera there, in fact, LP570. So I want to come through towards the hypercar corner. There are a lot of different 458s, 488s, you name it, and the likes, F12s. In fact, I'm going to beeline actually to this 812 GTS. I said we'd talk about that. Firstly, 812 GTSs in Rosso Fuoco, at the end Rosso Corsa, and this is Rosso Rubino, but this is a tailor-made car. You've got the chrome silver wheels, and look at the interior. Look at what they've done here. The embroideries, the silver piping that runs around the side, tailor-made, inspired by the 1967 Ferrari 365 California. It looks amazing. The details as well down on the floor mats and on the central tunnel, and even on the steering wheel, the wood on the top of the steering wheel. I love what Ferrari can do. We've got a 430 Scuderia behind. If we squeeze through this way, we've got the V12 Vantages, various different Astons, one of the 100 GT12s in Ocelus teal with the orange accents, and in fact, again, a blue leather interior. Love the attention to detail. We've got a GT Black Series 991.2 Speedster, and then we've got the hypercar corner. We've got a LaFerrari. Seen a couple of LaFerraris today. We've got a car I'm familiar with. This is one of the other Mansouri Veyron Vinceros. This is actually a car I think I've driven before in Germany about 5 years ago when I visited Mansouri. I think I've driven that very car, which is really quite cool. We've got a McLaren P1 just here, satin black for the lower sections. Bit of a unique livery and look to it. And then we've got a Reventon, one of only 20 Lamborghini Reventon coupes, the first of the Few Off series. I can't quite believe how many of the Few Off Lambos we're actually going to have seen today. One of 375 P1s, one of 500 LaFerraris, all pretty rare and special cars here at Q Motors. In fact, that is another 8 hypercars in one showroom. This is just extraordinary. I can't necessarily share everything that I've been able to see, but on the last drive, I've just spotted another Ferrari Enzo, plus a Lamborghini Sian Roadster, one of the 19 Roadsters, the first one that I've ever seen, and an Elva and a Senna. So another 4 hypercars, but unfortunately not on the camera this time. However, I am now back at VIP Motors, where I came to visit the other day, because inside there are double Venenos and double Devos, but since I last came to visit, there have been some new hypercar arrivals. So let's head inside here at VIP Motors and go and have a bit of an update on what they have in store for us in the showroom. One of the most amazing displays, and center stage, the 4 cars here, the 2 Veneno Roadsters sandwiched by the 2 Bugatti Devos, 2 of the 9 Roadsters, the gloss black car and the satin black car that I got to drive and experience myself in London a few years ago, and a Devo hidden under the covers back there, and another Devo right here, 2 of the 40 of them. What a spectacular start to any showroom display. But behind, if we just pop on through, technically my 3rd Ferrari Enzo of the day, but this is a car that I actually love because it has an incredible story behind it. Awesome thing to have been able to see, which explains some of the touches. Then we have the McLaren Elva, one of the 149. Behind that, the Bugatti Chiron, in fact, under the cover as well. But I'm going to come through over towards this way and make my way down because, as you will start to see, there have been some new arrivals, and namely, after the Porsche 918 Spider, we have a Ferrari Monza SP2. Now, the Monza is a spectacular car to enjoy, to experience. It's a collectible. It was the first of the Icona series. This is the SP2 with the double seating configuration, the 2 buttresses, the SP1 being the single seat. But not only is there one Monza here, there are 2 more undercovers back there, plus the Pagani Huayra Roadster. So yes, by my calculations, there are 12 hypercars here at VIP Motors right now. The Pagani Huayra Roadster, these 2 Monzas, 3, 4, 5, the 2 or 3 to the left, 8, plus those 4 cars center stage. 12 hypercars at VIP Motors, amongst some incredible cars, including that beautiful green 812 GTS, the GT Black Series, and a few Mansouri cars as well, the SF90s, Aventador SVJ 63 Roadster, and plenty more. What a lineup, what a display, what an awesome place to be. Devos and the 2 Venenos. I can't believe I've seen one myself. Is that 5 of the Lamborghini Few Off cars today, the Reventon, the Sian Roadster, and 3 Venenos. Driving around up to this point, we have only been scratching on the surface of the hypercars here in Dubai, but a quick stop here at Princess Cars, where something I've seen a surprising couple of today is lurking in the window, a Rosso Corsa Ferrari Enzo. In fact, the 4th Enzo that I've seen today of the 399, or rather 400 cars in total, which is actually quite unusual out here in Dubai. Normally you find things like the Bugattis, and in fact we've seen 8 Bugattis in total today, including 3 Divos, the Mansouri cars, Chirons, Veyrons, which is fairly crazy to think about it. But in total of hypercars, and it's getting towards the end of the day, so I've not been able to go everywhere that I would have liked to be able to go, I have seen, by my count, 52 hypercars. And yes, there's a bit of variation of what's a hypercar and what isn't, but it gives a sense of how crazy it is. Had I been able to go everywhere, I think we'd be talking about 70 or 80 hypercars in one day. And I think Dubai is the only place in the entire world where it is possible for a human being to see that many hypercars in one single day, other than perhaps some of the few extraordinary collections that are out there. It really takes something to think about. But if you had to choose a car, how could you possibly pick one? I've seen 5 different, or is it 6? Sian, Reventon, 3 Venenos, and a Sian Roadster, 6 Lamborghini Fuel-Off hypercars, 8 Bugattis, all of the Holy Trinity cars, everything. It is just madness. And of course, getting around with the AMG GT Black Series. Again, a huge thanks to my friends at Quad Fury to make it possible to live the supercar dream out here with my UK right-hand drive AMG GT Black Series. But what a phenomenal day, loaded with hypercars. A huge thanks to the showrooms for the opportunities to take a visit from Alain Class, VIP Motors, Q Motors, and all of the others that I've checked out today. I've only had a little bit more time to keep exploring, but either way, what a place when it comes to hypercars. That's it for now though. Thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I appreciate your support an awful lot, and I'll see you again for more adventures here in Dubai very soon. Cheers!